And here we are.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's show.
Hey,
Thanks for
folks.
joining us as usual. And yeah, we got a fun Wednesday evening show primed and ready for you guys.
Christmas
Please,
Eve.
right, exactly, Christmas Eve. Please give your warmest welcomes to our special guest of the day, PK Sparks. Thanks for joining us, man.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hello. How you doing? Thanks for having me. My name is PK Sparks. I am loud and I like video games. Also, I'm obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like,
Hey, those are...
you think it's a game? This is just commons.
I
opened recently, like yesterday. This is a problem.
Wow.
You were tempting me, I think it was last year, to pick up like that. What was that Yu-Gi-Oh like game that went through all 5 seasons of the anime? Or...
Legacy of the Duelist.
Yeah, it's like, I've not played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it looks kind of fun just by watching some people play this game. It's like, do I pick it up?
It's a lot of fun.
First season of Yu-Gi-Oh.
I can't afford another
one season from one series one time, but yeah, I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's an impressive collection you got going, man. I don't know.
That ain't even the collection.
I'm not even done.
White Dragon, but
it goes deep. It goes deep.
Ash,
I see that. Oh man,
I'm with you on
deep.
that one.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
When I fell off of the Pokemon card game, I'm like, I don't know if I want to collect cards anymore. But then I see some Pokemon cards with some great artwork, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at least fun for me because I also play the game. I'm not just a collector. I'm like, get into the competitive side of it. So it's two-pronged, and all my duplicates I plan on giving to Goodwill or finding somewhere where I could donate them because they're still good cards. I just don't need 12 copies of the same thing.
Nice.
20 different rarities. So,
I mean, that's
really quick. I'm seeing a couple of names I don't see often in the chat. Hello, Bella, and then also there is Ryan Pangle, who posted a little while ago. So welcome. I don't recognize your name, so welcome.
Ryan
with that
said,
said,
familiar to me.
You what?
I said Ryan Pangle definitely sounds familiar to me. So hello, Ryan.
Okay, well there you go.
there.
Well, with that said, I know PK, you've got a kind of a hard stop tonight, so we should probably go right into the show. So, Derek, you want to count us in for recording?
Yes. All right. 3, 2, 1, record.
Recording.
Yep,
Awesome.
recording.
Recording. Okay.
Perfect.
Excellent.
All right. Okay, let's do this. Hey, everybody, and welcome. Hey, I did it again. Everybody and everyone. You got to stop doing that. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our wonderful patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host, Ash Paulson, and I'm joined today by my very good friends and GVG co-founders, Steve Bowling and Derek Bittner, as well as our very special guest today, PK Sparks. Welcome, PK.
Yo, what's up, guys? PK Sparks here. I'm not going to do the whole intro again, but thank you for having me. I'm glad to do so and talk some gaming with you wonderful gentlemen.
Well, we're very happy to have you here, and I love that. Yo, I don't think I've heard that quite yet on the show. That's great.
It's a thing from Philadelphia. Like people say when they see somebody down the street, so it's our thing. So of course, I incorporate it.
Nice.
Gotcha. Well, we're just happy to have you here, and we appreciate you taking time out of your Christmas Eve to spend a little time with us, man.
Heck yeah. Who needs wrestling when we got this? Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead. With that said, then let's just go ahead and jump right into the news. And this story actually was one we were going to report on Monday, but we just kind of ran out of time. So we moved it to today. And let's go ahead and get that up on the screen. And that is that Banjo-Kazooie composer Grant Kirkhope has suggested to his followers that even if all of his followers and Playtonic's followers, which is about a combined 200,000 or so people, buying a new Banjo-Kazooie game wouldn't be enough to make Rare want to take the jump and do it. Basically, just kind of giving us a hard dose of reality that, hey, you know what? We get that you want a new Banjo-Kazooie, but this isn't enough people to make Rare bite. PK, are you a Banjo-Kazooie fan? Does this have any?
Absolutely. 100%.
Nice.
I can 100%
yes.
the first game within 10 hours. I love that game.
Hell yeah.
So
Same.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, like what he says, I absolutely understand it that Banjo-Kazooie, like, okay, one thing I've been taught is assume that 10% of your audience would buy something. So if he has 200,000 viewers, that means that all right, time to get hit by some poor bad maths or quick maths. 10% of that, is that 20,000?
Yeah,
Yep.
20,000.
20,000. So if you put that in an ESRB of standard, let's say the standard 60, let's just do some quick maths. That is actually that's a lot of money. Apparently it's $1.2 million. But you also have to consider that you have companies out there that are selling, that can make a game and sell to 100,000 people, 500,000 people. So just the core base, no matter what the money turnaround may be, like you got to consider that in multiplication, not just from one end. And you got to think about the time that goes into it. I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah.
Please give me Banjo 3E. I need more Gruntilda. I need more Banjo. I want Jam Jars back. Give me a Racer. I want the whole 9. But it's an old IP at this point. How many people of this generation even know what Banjo-Kazooie is anymore?
I mean, beyond Smash, probably not
beyond
a whole
Smash
lot.
fan. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a tricky that was my favorite reveal ever. Just quick side.
Oh, it's up there.
It's so good.
Incredible.
I shed tears. But anyway.
We were right there with you, man. Like we were in the E3 newsroom when that happened, and we all just kind of unanimously kind of jumped out of our seats and we're like, "Whoa!"
I'm so glad Amy filmed that.
Yeah, it was so. We were so hyped.
Follow up to this tweet where I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but the basic idea was, I think it was comparing it to Crash and Spyro, where we had the Crash trilogy, which sold super well, but apparently the numbers for Crash 4 aren't that great in comparison. Like it's only a bit of a fraction. So it's like people only want to see their favorites repackaged, not necessarily a new game. It almost seems to be with that. I don't know the hard numbers or if that's a thing, but I did hear that in connection to this. And it does make you think, like, do you take that hit to try to build up another fan base with the games? Or it's like, well, here's a remake. It did really well. Let's make a new game. Oh, it didn't do as well. Put more effort into that. Well, what do we do now?
I think that's just more so a product of this generation. We're at a point where nostalgia works on us so much more than it should. Like playing what we already know is good and just getting those nostalgia, what's what I'm looking for? Nostalgia hormones.
Nostalgia vibes.
Yeah, endorphins.
Nostalgia vibes going through. It lets us know, like, it reminds us, of a time where things were simple. Not to make it too serious when I say this. No. But our generation is at a point where things aren't kind of the best, but a couple decades ago, things were kind of dope. We felt hopeful and whatnot. So we play these games that are, from the late 90s, early 2000s, all of a sudden we're brought back to the N64 era, the Nintendo GameCube era, the start of the Wii. That was like the gaming time that really framed us into what we have today. And of course, N64 goes along with the PlayStation, goes along with the Dreamcast, etc. Those are like our formative years. So I think that is the real selling point, because Crash 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy, that thing sold, and I love it. This was my first time actually playing the game. But wow. I love it. But I'm looking at it right now, and the Crash 4 sales, at least from the end of November, were 402,000, which, it isn't bad, all things considered. It's much better than your average indie developer. But, for a AAA developer like Activision, I can understand why they're like, maybe we aren't going to do this again, which is a polished game. So I don't know what's going on.
Do you think there's a value proposition with that? Because, we got 3 Crash games for $40 for that original release. And meanwhile, Crash 4 is $60 for one game. Granted, there's a decent amount of gameplay there, but I still think there's it's like almost a loss of value.
I remember hearing people talk about that. And I understand why the Crash 4 is 60 compared to Crash 1, 2, and 3 being 40. And that's simply because it's a rehashed experience versus a brand new experience. Yeah, I think that they were appropriate with how they priced it, because these are all packages. Now, think of it like very similar to Super Mario 3D Land or 3D All-Stars. Super Mario 3D I said it right. Yeah. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. where those games are essentially ports sold for the same thing, and people's like, this should not be worth $60. Mind you, I also bought 2, and I regret it. I haven't even opened one. So story for another time. But then you have Crash 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy being remade, remastered, updated in every way, and sold for a smaller package because smaller price, because essentially it is a rehashed package or rehashed experience. So with Crash 4, I get why it's for $60, and I don't get why people are mad. But I imagine that's because our generation is also cheap, and not by cheap I mean
don't have a lot of extra cash.
So, yes,
right,
yeah,
right.
Appropriately so. We're frugal. That's the word I'm going for.
Yeah,
that's a good
one.
Well,
and you know, Fizzywig Hoyt in the chat brings up a very good point that I think a lot of people overlook about a new Banjo-Kazooie, and that is they said unless Rare does something good with Banjo-Kazooie, they have absolutely zero interest in anything they produce. And the thing is, a lot of the people who made the original Banjo-Kazooie are no longer with the company. So the people who would be bringing us a new Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo 3 or whatever, they're not the same people who brought us these 2 games, and especially the first game that we hold so near and dear to our hearts. So there's no guarantee that even if we did get a new Banjo game, that it would live up to. I mean, even Yooka-Laylee didn't live up to Banjo-Kazooie, and it was made by a lot of the same people who made that game. So what are the chances that the new Banjo could live up to the hype? I mean, I look, I'd still play it. I'd still want a new Banjo game no matter what. But I do think there is something to be said there about how, the old team is not all there anymore.
This Rare is basically, you should almost consider it a brand new developer. They're interested in making their own things, creating their own legacy. And it's sort of why we have a brand new studio handling the Perfect Dark game. That's not done by Rare. That's somebody else. That's why somebody else handled Killer Instinct. And so it almost seems like a better idea to bring in developers that have a familiarity or a passion for their games to make something new or remake it or however. So, but that also brings to the question, like you said, Hash, Playtonic didn't quite pull it off with Yooka-Laylee. So would Playtonic be the best choice for a Banjo remake / Banjo 3? Ideally, yes, but
I don't necessarily think that's a fair comparison. I get that the staff, in terms of the people, it's absolutely fair. But in terms of the amount of money available and time given to develop, that absolutely isn't fair comparison. What I think that Playtonic could potentially do it if they had that Nintendo AAA level of money that they had when they were making Banjo. And I think that probably, the issue here is, I guarantee you that Banjo-Kazooie, like a new Banjo, has come up many, many times within the halls of Microsoft somewhere. And there's someone somewhere that says, look, we're just not going to make enough money back on this to make this game. Regardless of how many people say they want it, whatever, however they create data models or projections or whatever, they have to be coming back with, because honestly, if they ran an analysis and they said, man, we're going to make, this thing's going to sell like hotcakes, according to our projections, they would absolutely make it. And they would absolutely make sure it's the best game they possibly could. They, I guarantee you they don't go into these things and go, Halo Infinite's probably going to cost somewhere between $5 and $85 million. We don't know. They definitely have a strong idea of how much it's going to cost them to make every single game they make and how much money they'll make back from that game. So I think that Banjo is just a matter of whatever that algorithm is or whatever those numbers that they feed in to try to figure it out, not shaking out the way they want them to. And that's really, really unfortunate. I think that's kind of in a very, very roundabout way what Kirkhope is trying to say here. I'm not a huge Banjo fan. When you guys all lit up at E3, I was like, cool, I'm so happy for you guys. But I've literally never played Banjo. So I don't it's not that I hate it. It's just that I have zero history with the games. And I think what PK was saying about nostalgia being such a huge driving factor for us at our generation is so true.
Very true.
Because, I look at Sephiroth the other day. I was stoked, but I was also sitting on the floor of my living room in 1996 playing Final Fantasy VII on my PS1, and that's what hit me when I see Sephiroth, Same thing with Cloud. I remember the good old days, and again, speaking of what PK said, that's why I also picked up 2 copies of 3D All-Stars, because I was like, 64 was dope and they deserve my money still. So I bought 2. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. You know, I hope that someday we get a new Banjo, and I truly hope that it is not Rare, the current Rare that makes it. I hope it's somebody with proven chops.
Rare seems to be on the upswing though, because I have heard that their Sea of Thieves has gotten better. Their new game has potential.
I have heard the same.
We'll see how the new game turns out, and then we can decide what we think of Rare. I think.
I want to
Now,
speak
if Microsoft-
on 2 points before we
Go
move
ahead.
forward. The first point is what you said about money. That is such a massive thing. And that's the core thing about this whole thing. You guys got to remember, everyone needs to remember that as much as we as gamers, as consumers, see video games as escapism, as outlets, as medium of expression, things we can relate to the people who develop them, this is a business.
Mhm.
And
Well
they
said.
they
Yeah.
want their time to equal money that can make the most money for their time is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, we can be fans of it all they want. Like I'm sure everybody here would love a new Banjo or whatever. I'm sure there are old series that everyone would love a new game too. Please give me a Diddy Kong Racing sequel. But or
Hell yeah.
Super Mario Strikers. Like there are so many GameCube titles to go
Right.
down to. But will it make the money? That I think that audience is dead because the IP has been gone for so long, which is why, you know, everyone should just give up hope on getting a new Star Fox. Press F. But the other thing
And
I wanna
F-Zero.
talk is, as you were saying earlier, the developers, even if they announced Banjo-Kazooie, you got to remember that that IP belongs to the company Rare, not the developers behind it.
Right.
So,
Yep.
you know, the company can produce this, but 2021 Rare is not 1998 Rare. It's been 2 decades, my dude. You gotta move on. You gotta move
God, I
on.
feel
And
like. Sorry, I feel like we might be related only because I've said very much the same thing in other ways, less eloquent ways than the way you just said it, but it is so true. I mean, it is so true that it is a business at the end of the day, and fans do tend to forget that. You know, I've had so many people tell me, you know, God, screw Capcom for not making Mega Man Legends 3 yet. Dude, that would be a sequel to a game that is like 20 years old that itself was a cult classic. Like, there's no money in it for them, as much as I'd like it. So I totally hear
Legends
you.
requires quite a bit of development, and you know, most Mega Man games don't sell. You know, haven't sold over 1 million copies. So
Yeah.
you know, those are.
You know, I do have to say though,
AA games, I guess, was go with.
in the spirit of putting good vibes out there, remember that if Shenmue 2 can get a sequel 18 years later on
True.
Kickstarter,
Very true.
anything can happen. So keep hope alive. Vote
Yeah.
with your wallet when you can.
I mean, Mega Man 11 was the
where
thing.
is Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah.
Right.
Where is
Yeah.
Mega
It- If Nintendo starts
Hey.
a Kickstarter for that right now, I'll give them all our AdSense money. I'm kidding.
Kickstarter, there is no hope.
112 in the chat is asking why I must hurt them so. Dude, I want Mega Man Legends 3 just as much as you or anybody.
I'm
I
sorry.
got to be realistic about it, unfortunately. Now, that said, before we move on, if Microsoft ever wanted to tap Playtonic to do a Banjo-Kazooie 2D platformer, sign me up, because Impossible Lair was such an incredible game.
Nice.
Like the jump in quality from Yooka-Laylee 1 to Impossible Lair was just galaxy
Phenomenal.
sized. It was insane. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. And the Nintendo leak train just keeps on rolling, because now with the newest leaks, we have now seen some of the original plans for the Switch in terms of its early design and some of its cut features. And what's really funny about this is that it's actually visually remarkably similar to to one of the more popular mock-ups that was posted online during the NX hype speculation days. And so shockingly, that mock-up wasn't so far off from apparently what the Switch could have actually been at one point. And there's some really interesting tidbits here. Like the console was originally going to apparently support 3D video and be backwards compatible with the 3DS. And as part of that, Street Pass and Spot Pass and pedometer features were also planned like the 3DS, which hurts me because I'm such a huge Street Pass stan and I miss it so much. And to know that it possibly at one point going to be included in the Switch, it hurts. But what do you guys? What are your takes on this? Some of the stuff that we ended up not getting in the Switch.
It's really comes across as a lost Nintendo handheld, like dedicated handheld. I know it was, the Switch name was decided apparently back in 2014, but it really seems like once they partnered with Nvidia and got like a massive increase in power, like, oh, we can do much more of this and make it almost like this hybrid that we've been maybe thinking about, and just went in that direction rather than a 3DS successor, which is fascinating in that way.
I don't miss the 3DS. It was a great console, but I have bad memories of me breaking my shoulder button to Mario Kart 7. So, but no, jokes aside, I mean, no, the DS is great. It was great, but that 3D was a heavy gimmick that should have been scrapped a long time ago.
I love the 3D.
Only a few games really utilized it well. Super Mario 3D Land comes to mind. I thought that game did the 3D fantastic. Especially Uprising. The 3D on that game. Flying. So good. But not every game was able to utilize it. To that same point, it reminded me of how the gamepad on the Wii U should have been so revolutionary. Look at this dusty thing. Oh, it's so lovely. But yeah, this should have been so revolutionary. And the best example we got of it was from Batman Arkham City remake, whatever that was. We could use it for the tools. But otherwise, no one took advantage of it. It became just an accessory. So that's what I think essentially happened with the 3DS, where it came down to a point where, the 3D was a gimmick. It wasn't bad as a handheld. As a matter of fact, it was great as a handheld. It's just it's old. What else can you do with it?
Yeah,
I have nothing. They stopped making puzzles. They took away the pilot wings, the 3D one. We take pictures and whatnot. Took that away.
Resort.
What is it? It was a lot of them. Remember the Pokemon Dream Radar? That was also very fun.
I do remember that. Yeah, that was cool.
That was a lot of fun. It became a meme at this point. 3DS became a meme, and that's why I think it's been pushed, and I'm glad they went for it. But the features that came from it, the 3DS, I don't know. Would I want Street Pass back again? Do I want to carry a $300 device openly available, not able to fit in my pocket? I don't know.
It'd be good for conventions because I always carried around that. I don't know.
Because I usually have my Switch with me anyway. Yeah.
Wait, it can't fit in my pocket. Wait, hold up.
There you go.
Nice. Hey, there you go. Turn on Street Pass. You're good to go.
They might have messed up or something.
Real quick to Kairudo, it says, imagine playing 3DS games in 3D and HD. That's the thing. The screen capped out at 480p on this original Switch design.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there are some really cool things and some really just awful things. And it's hard to say because obviously this is like early iteration hardware, right? This is 2014, which is weird to believe. I mean, the wildest thing for me out of this whole set of revelations is that they already had the Switch name decided 6 years ago. Like they're like, Nintendo Switch. But some of the stuff you can tell like technologically wouldn't have worked out. Like they were talking about using Miracast instead of docking. So they always had the like play on the TV idea, but if you've ever used a Miracast, it is laggy and
it's
gross.
Terrible. I've heard.
Trying to
play Saber on it. Ugh.
Yeah, trying to sync inputs with that laggy tech would have been terrible. And that's probably why it was so low res, or at least part of it, because pushing anything higher than 480p to a screen would have been awful. Imagine playing 480p on a TV, but
didn't we all do that when we were 10?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we all did.
We did it with the Wii,
but we didn't do it with a 65-inch OLED.
That's
amazing
also
that
true.
Galaxy is 480p, but continue.
Yeah, no, there are some things in here though that are really cool. One, I'm a Nintendo hardware like geek. Like when we get into that hype cycle, when everybody starts wondering what the next Nintendo console is going to look like, I am the first person on Resetera like eating up all these mock-ups that fans make and obsessing over whether or not they could be accurate. Like I probably still on a hard drive somewhere have a folder of like every NX mock-up I found. I live for those moments. The other thing that I wish they would have done though, the thing that I think I feel pain for the most is a Miiverse successor.
Yeah,
I want Nintendo World.
Same.
I don't know what it is. I know that it's a social media platform, and I want it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And I can definitely concede that, like, while I actually personally was a fan of the stereoscopic 3D, especially when it was utilized well, I can definitely concede that it did not need to return on the Switch or any successor. I can absolutely admit that. However, Street Pass would have been great to keep, and just 3DS backwards compatibility, just the concept of that by itself, even without stereoscopic 3D. There's so many great games on 3DS that are locked on 3DS.
I hugely
that can't
disagree.
Be played anywhere else.
And
really,
it's
why
not
is that?
It's not because I don't want the games. It absolutely not because I don't want the games. 3DS has one of the best libraries of any Nintendo platform, especially when you consider it's back. Yeah, it's one of the best libraries of all time. But if you look at it from, again, like a technical perspective, that means that the architecture in the Switch would have had to have been based on what's in the 3DS, which means no NVIDIA, which means, we probably would have gotten a much worse product for our money than what we got. Like, Nintendo partnering with NVIDIA was one of the smartest things they did. And
I completely agree. Yeah. I don't know nearly as much about tech as you do, obviously, but this does say that the ST Switch would have had dedicated hardware to facilitate 3DS backwards compatibility. Does it have to be either or can that not exist?
So you could do something similar like the PS3, the launch model that had the Emotion engine in it, that had like PS2 hardware, but then you'd have like a bigger, fatter, heavier Switch, right? With probably worse battery life. I think that Nintendo pushed the limits of what people are willing to accept in a portable form factor with the Switch we have now. Like, just as PK was showing, he's like, it doesn't fit in my pocket, and then worked it in there. I mean, think about anything even remotely a bit bigger than what we have now, and it would people would probably just start leaving it at home, not taking it out. Like, I already leave mine at home.
That's a good point.
So
but don't get me wrong, I definitely take my Switch out when I'm traveling. I think that's one of the best things about it. I love JRPGs. So when I'm taking a flight, especially if I'm going cross country, being able to take my Switch and play Tales of Vesperia for 4-5 hours on the plane, with charger, mind you. But yeah, so that was such a good experience for me. So I think that the initial concept is good. And of course, you also have the Switch Lite, because actually, why does the Switch Lite exist? Just a cheaper version?
Yeah, to kind of capture that more dedicated handheld market, I think, for kids. Kids seem like a big thing.
People who just really don't care if they can play it on TV or not. I think there are, especially in Japan, that's the portable gaming is such a huge part of the culture. I think, there are people out there who really couldn't care less if they can connect their Switch to the TV and are perfectly happy having a handheld only system. So I guess for those people, the Switch Lite does make sense.
I like the concept of it. I don't like this mock-up that came out with. What the heck do you think is going on? No, all right.
Yeah.
I understand that phones do it with cameras. It's completely different when your giant man hands are sliding all over the screen. Stop that. Bad idea.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There's no bad ideas, but.
Well,
there's some bad ideas.
Since I'm talking to a fellow JRPG lover and we're talking about the 3DS, I just have to mention Bravely Second, my game of the year for 2016, one of my favorite JRPGs ever.
Was it Bravely Default 2?
That's coming out next year. Yeah, but Bravely Second, I just adored to death,
was it?
And I just had to say that.
It was pushed back, wasn't it? No.
Yeah, it was pushed back to February. I think it's coming out now.
Not February. That's when 3D World Bowser's Cat Bowser.
Oh, it is. I could be wrong, but I think it's February.
Bowser's
February.
So much. I'll be so sad. I gotta prioritize, but I mean, oh well.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the backlog just gets bigger and bigger.
Demo.
I haven't either. I've been so busy. I still would like to record a playthrough of it though for our channel. Maybe I can do that during the Christmas break, or stream it. Maybe.
I heard it's like 5 hours to do whatever you want.
Oh really? Oh, so it's a time demo.
I guess so.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to checking that out.
On Default 2?
Yeah, they released a new demo of Default 2.
Did they? I need it.
The final demo. Yeah.
I need it. So good.
Yeah, I'm excited too. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next story, and this one is quite the story.
All right, let's throw that up.
So Kentucky Fried Chicken, bear with me here. Kentucky Fried Chicken has announced the KF console, which is essentially a mini PC enclosure that has its own oven area for keeping your fried chicken warm while you play your games. And this thing can run games at 4K, 240 FPS. It has 2 terabytes of storage. Like, this thing is actually outdoing the PS5 and Xbox Series X in some respects. And not only that, it can keep your chicken warm. What else could you possibly ever need from anything, right? What are your takes on this, guys? I don't even.
PK,
I think we got to throw this to PK first. He's got some thoughts. You can tell.
So I want you to know, I saw the video. I know this was announced. I would have spent my life savings on this being a joke. I am just now learning that this is serious.
Really? See, if it was anybody other than KFC, I would agree with you. But KFC is kind of known for some of this stuff. Like there's that Colonel Sanders dating game on Steam.
There's a dating game, and then they released like a short Hallmark-like film about the Colonel finding love.
Oh God!
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think it was Mario Lopez that played the
yeah, I have to watch that. I haven't seen it. Yeah.
I need some minutes to actually process this because this is serious. Why? Okay. Let's talk about it.
Why not?
How bad is it for your gaming console to be near something that is constantly hot enough to keep your chicken warm? Pause. Why are you encouraging people to touch technology with greasy chicken fingers? Pause. Why do you think that people are only going to put chicken in this grill? What makes you think people won't try to make a pizza in there or something? Pause. Why do you want people? Why do you want people again to touch their gaming console with greasy gamer hands? There is so much wrong.
All right.
I mean,
there's a lot to unpack.
I can answer.
Understood the idea of Doritos to go with gamer because again, greasy hands while you're playing a console. I don't want that crap all over my controller.
I can't believe I have to spell this out for you guys.
Let's go. Let's get it.
This was designed by people who were drunk at the time of design and all throughout the process. Like, have you never had a moment? Like, let's just be real. Have none of you ever had a moment where you are trashed and you're playing a game and you're like, I need to eat something right now?
It's true.
I do that all the time. Like, once I pass a certain
I
point of inebriation, I'm like, I need a steak sandwich immediately.
I mean, true. But that's what you got DoorDash.
Asus, Cooler Master, and Seagate all went along with this. It supports virtual VR. It's VR ready.
I know, but if you're again going back to the whole reason Banjo doesn't exist, it's money, right? Like if I'm sitting here with my drunk ass idea saying, man, I need like a chicken warming PC and I have $85 million burning a hole in my pocket, Cooler Master will be like, yeah, whatever you want, chief.
Here's my thing. Give me a price. I gotta admit, it's going to be terrible, but I want it.
This is a reactor and opening YouTuber's dream.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, let's look at me. I'm gaming. Chicken fingers. I'm gaming some more. Headshot, chicken finger. Like, it's gold. But it's definitely, oh, man.
So at least based on one article on Collider.com, there's a speculative price point of around $2,000.
Makes sense. It's a PC. It's a gaming.
It's going to be.
All right, I'm not spending a mortgage on this. Wait.
No. It's definitely beefy.
Oh, that was almost Azran level punnery.
I mean, I didn't mean to do it. Just like it's a beefy thing, but it's also like I'm not spending that much. I was just getting a dedicated PC.
I would absolutely. There's one thing I want to point out though, hardware wise, that is actually really interesting about this thing. It mentions a hot swappable GPU.
I was going to mention that. Yeah.
What? Like, that's the graphics card. What? You're just like, I need more FPS, and you pull out your graphics card and shove another one in there?
Yeah. And I love that. I love the shade that Mark Cheevers, the PR and social media lead at KFC UK and Ireland, has thrown at Microsoft and Sony with this quote. And it's this. This machine is capable of running games at top-level specs, all on top of keeping your meal warm for you to enjoy during your gaming experience. What's not to like? If Sony or Microsoft want any tips on how to engineer a chicken chamber for their efforts next time, they'd be welcome to get in touch.
That's just such a... I mean, PS5 also is in $2,000, so there's that. There's also
air horns on that.
They were really inspired by the PS3's George Foreman grill design. It was like, you know what? We should have a grill in this system.
See, but that's what I was just thinking. Like, you could just buy a $20 griddle, put it next to you, and boom, does the same thing.
True.
I think it's silly. I want it.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say though, 4K, 240 FPS, 240 hertz output up to it, ray tracing, VR ready, 2 separate Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte SSDs. I mean, this thing is loaded,
Yes,
and not
man.
just with chicken.
You know what?
And
I
I
don't want this. I don't want this to play games on. I want to make GVG videos on this thing. It is a PC, and I can store chicken in my editing rig. I am down.
And that is perfect for E3.
I really, you know what? I really want the excuse that I have a video late to be like, chicken grease got into my computer and destroyed it.
Yeah.
Everything's gone.
As big as the PS5 is, the fact that they couldn't fit a grill in there is just a folly. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, fire your engineers, honestly.
Oh man, the chat's going wild with chicken puns. Evernight Studios says KFC is really grilling the competition with this. And Dust
Their
Mirage
grilled
says, "Damn it,
chicken
Derek!"
sucks.
Right? Dust Mirage says, "Damn it, Derek! You really should have chickened out of that pun, man."
Hey, Azran said, "You mean $2,000 isn't a poultry price point?"
Oh, that is so
Wow.
good. Azran, I visited Azran. We were doing a holiday gift giving thing. No joke. Azran's island name in Animal Crossing is also a pun. I think it's a sangria or something. Like, Azran, please correct me in the chat, but I remember thinking that this is like not just a thing you do here. Like, this is just your life.
It's a state of being.
Yep.
ETNO Ben says they're going to ask the Colonel for a review unit because fried chicken and video game music are 2 of their 4 favorite things. Hell yeah.
I
Dude,
want
it's
to know what the other
sangria.
2 favorite things are.
Yeah.
Sangria, nice.
All right, let us get to know you better, patron. What's up? How are you doing? What are your other 2 favorite things? Let us know in the comments.
All right, well, I think we've pretty much said everything we can on the KF console, so let's go ahead and move on to our next story. And that is that Copenhagen, Denmark-based Nordisk Games has acquired 40% of Mercury Steam. Of course, Mercury Steam being the developer of Metroid: Samus Returns and Castlevania: Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. And they are calling it a sizable investment. So, yeah, I've never heard of Nordisk Games personally. Have any of you?
No. Heard of Sandisk?
I haven't either.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
why did SanDisk get this? I completely mixed up the
Right.
2.
Yeah, same. And apparently Nordisk already has investments in 8 European games companies, including full ownership of Just Cause and Mad Max developer Avalanche Studios. And this all comes from VideoGamesChronicle.com, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, this is clearly far from the first acquisition or high-profile acquisition they've taken part in. But, yeah, Mercury Steam, for their part, seems to be excited about it. So,
I mean,
Okay.
they do.
I wish you the best. I mean, clearly they have a game in mind and they want this company to work on it because they're a fan of Castlevania, Lord of the Shadows, and Metroid: Samus Returns. I hope that the games aren't too much of a copy. This is just all speculation, obviously. But, just saying, hey, we acquired it, it's like, okay, but what are you producing from it? So whether or not they produce quality remains to be seen, definitely. But good for you. I wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Yeah.
yeah.
I went to Nordic Games website just because I'm like, what else do these guys do? And the first thing they do is first thing they have on here is our approach. We make equity investments in European development studios, and they're basically their goal. Our agenda is aligned with the foundries for the long run. Build great games and successful companies. So basically, they're just almost like investing in things to make sure they can do it. They do Flashbulb Games, Avalanche, as you said, Kogama, Retromoto, Star Stable. Like,
I've literally never heard of any of these games.
I
Yeah.
haven't either, but I guess they're more
Yeah.
European.
I mean,
things
I'll be honest though. The one thing that kind of struck me, like the takeaway from this story for me was, they're working on more games. It's like, I mean, hopefully that means that they've got something going on with Nintendo still, because that's really what I think we all care about them for at this point. Mercury Steam, Castlevania, Lord of Shadows,
still
cool,
have love
but
for them from Lord of Shadow, those games were better than people give them credit for.
I'm not saying they're bad games. I'm just saying in recent memory, like I just refer to them as, those are the Metroid guys. That was a good game. I liked
Right.
that. So I hope that they're
I'm glad
doing
they
more
were
of
able to
that.
recover. Because I at least heard, I didn't play it, but I heard that Lords of Shadow 2 was pretty awful for various reasons. So I'm glad they were able to recover from that. No, you liked it.
I put that in my top 10 Castlevania games.
Wow.
Top
Okay.
10.
Fair
How
enough.
many, now, my question becomes, how many Castlevania games are there?
32. Around there.
Really?
Yeah.
I want to fact check that.
I played them all. So yeah.
He did the whole. He is as into
through-
Castlevania as I am into Mega Man. I trust
played
whatever
every
man says
single
about
Castlevania game.
Wow. There's
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
It's I think there was a lot of development issues. It could have been even better,
Right.
but what they actually managed to pull off is barring a awful sneaking bits in the early on, which
I heard
really
about that.
doesn't leave. Both Lords of Shadow games suffer from really bad openings. It takes a while for them to get good, but once they get good, they get really good.
That's fair.
So that's the kind of problem with those.
That's probably why.
Azran 1-2.
Oh, I was
go
just
ahead,
going
go
to say
ahead,
that's probably why so many people say it's not good. Like I'll be the first to admit any game has a good hour with me, and that's usually like where I make that call. Like, am I going to keep playing this, or is this going on the shelf? And if you can't at least give me like the hint of something good in that first hour, I'm just out. I'm like, forget it. I got other games to play.
That's fair.
I get
mean,
you.
yeah.
That's what happened with me. I bounced off Lords of Shadow 2 the first time I played it, but then I, was doing that marathon. I was like, well, got to play the whole thing now. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, this is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
nice.
there are certain games that are absolutely worth playing, even if they don't hook you within that first hour. But Steve, I totally hear you. I only have so many hours to play games freely, right? So, when somebody tells me, "Oh, it gets really good 15 hours in," I'm like, "Nah, man, you got to get me before that." Even though I absolutely admit that there are games for which that is true. Like hell, yesterday was Kingdom Hearts 2's 15th birthday, I think, and that's a perfect example of a game like that. Fantastic game, but the opening 4 hours kind of suck. So it's just it's just a matter of how much time you're willing to invest. Azran127 with a next level pun here, even for you, Azran. I've heard of neither Avalanche nor Disc Studios. That is a 15 out of 10.
Oh God,
my friend. All right.
Well played.
Either way, I'd be very happy for Mercury Steam to either be working on an HD port of Samus Returns or another 2D Metroid.
Just give me a damn 2D Metroid already. Just any old.
It sucks.
Metroid.
I love Samus Returns. I played all of it, and I got to what I'm pretty sure is the final boss, and then I just put it down. I never got around, never actually finished it. So I'd be happy to play an HD version, a re-release, because it was great, and I just needed to see the ending. I don't know why I put it down. All right. Well, after that pun, I don't think there's much more we can say about Nordisk Games. So let's go ahead and move on to our next story. And this has to do with everyone's favorite Red Echidna, and that is that in Sonic 2 the movie, we're going to see Knuckles. We don't know what his involvement's going to be yet, but apparently he is going to be more than a cameo, more than what Tails got in Sonic 1. So Knuckles is going to be in Sonic 2, and he's going to have a pretty significant role apparently. And this comes by way of the Illuminerdy.com, by the way, which is a fantastic name for a website. So yeah, I was already really hyped for Sonic 2. The Sonic movie ended up being way better than it had any right to be. And I'm a huge Sonic fan anyway. So
thank you for listening to the fans.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, we made that model and saved the game. Movie, yeah. No, but as soon as I saw Tails at the end of Sonic 1, my hype for the second movie, which hadn't been confirmed at that point, just shot through the roof. And then, of course, where do you go after Tails? You go to Knuckles. And we're just hoping Knuckles is in there, and apparently he's going to be. And I really hope they tap Hunted P to record a new rap, like a new rap theme song for him. I know they won't. No,
well,
but...
also the Hunted P is.
Oh, right. No, he turned out to be a jerk. I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Two
things. Bummer. One, all the music from Sonic Adventure and basically how can I say this? Urbanified Knuckles. Yeah, all of that just comes to my mind. I'm sitting here singing the song in my head is great. And two, I had no idea that Tails appeared at the end of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so I just got spoiled. But
no, I'm sorry.
Have you not seen the movie?
No.
Oh,
I have not. Literally, I think my daughter was 4 months at that time, and and the world started burning at that point. So I
Yes,
couldn't
Oh.
try to do a lot of things.
I
But yeah, I want to. Isn't it on Netflix now? If so, I should probably watch
It's not on any streaming services, but it's out. It's, the Blu-ray's out there, and I actually picked it up pretty recently for like $10. It's
I
pretty
think-
and you also
think
find
you
it at
can-
Redbox too.
I think you
That's
can also
okay.
like rent it if you have like an Apple TV or something. I think you can rent it through Apple or whatever, or Google.
Ew,
like if you have a app, like a set-top box. I'm pretty sure that's how I watch.
Well-
I'm sure I can find it.
PK,
yeah,
I take spoilers just as seriously as you do, so I am truly sorry. It is
Yeah,
still
it's
worth
been-
watching.
It's been 10 months. It's been 10 months. No worries.
I'm actually surprised you avoided that on Twitter because I feel like I was all over the place on Twitter. When it
Oh,
happened.
I learned a long time ago if I don't want to be spoiled to just not mention it, and I've learned to dodge everything. You should see my filters when something hype is about to happen. I filter everything. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm excited for Knuckles. And I really hope they don't take the generic plot of, hey, Knuckles was tricked. He's the main antagonist. Oh man, it was Eggman behind the whole thing. Time for Sonic Heroes. You know.
Well, I'm looking through this article, maybe lower those hopes a bit because it says Knuckles will stay true to his video game incarnation as he will be able to glide as well as climb walls. They are currently casting an actor to voice Knuckles, and his personality was described to us as serious in nature but still gullible at times.
Sounds
they're
like
also,
him in the games.
yeah. They're also casting a supporting character named Randall, who will only be interacting with the human characters and specifically not Sonic. Even more interesting is that the production is also searching for an A-list human cameo to make an appearance in the movie. Names like Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock were thrown around. However, the big name cameo is still up in the air at this time.
It's gonna be Kevin Hart.
Right.
He's in like every movie.
I wonder if that means that James Marsden won't be returning. That would be kind of weird if he wasn't.
I feel like the fact that there's a character that only interacts with other humans makes me think James Marsden's in there. They're going to be kind of split up.
Maybe,
Like
yeah.
Sonic and James Marsden are going to be split up, and they have their own sort of stories.
Right. And I mean, that would make sense given where, well, I don't want to say anything, but given what happens in the movie. I don't want to say any more than that, though, because I don't want to spoil you any more than I have, PK.
I'm trying to think. Appreciate it. I'm trying to think of who could voice Knuckles. Like for some reason, I can't think of the actor's name, but the man who voiced Krunk in Emperor's New Groove.
Oh,
I think it's
Oh,
the same
man.
actor,
That's a deep cut.
But I think that's also like a reach. Is that the right voice? Like I think it would be the right attitude, but not the right voice. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Whoever it
Warburton
is,
was his
they
name.
just have to. Oh, Patrick Warburton. I could maybe
For
I don't
Knuckles?
know if I could see. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a bit too burly of a voice, I think, for Knuckles. Like, I don't know how else
I mean,
to
have you seen
describe
Knuckles
it.
in Sonic Boom? He's quite the burly fellow. In
That's
Sonic
true.
Boom.
He's pretty.
True.
He's pretty jacked. And
Whoever they get, as long as they have him say, "Oh no," when he gets hit at some point in the movie,
Please.
that has to happen.
If you
And
just use that sound bite. Don't even edit it or
Yeah.
re-record it. Just that sound. Oh no, that's all I need.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who it was in the. Oh yeah, Dusk Mirage says, "Oh my God, please let there be some references to the Sonic Adventure 2 raps in the movie." Yeah, even if it's just the background music from Pumpkin Hill or something, please. I would love just anything like that. Yeah.
I want not Knockers Knuckles. I want all of that. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. I want all the
Yes.
20 minutes. Feed it to me. All right, warm it up in the KFC console.
Yes.
Feed it to me.
warm
I
up
love
the
it.
KFC console.
Oh man, yeah, I'm really excited for how this movie seems to be turning out, and PK, it's absolutely still worth watching despite what you now know. Like, it's definitely worth a trip.
I can't wait to see Amy finally get her kiss from Sonic. Let's go. Yeah.
Nice.
Except that the Amy in the movies is actually human.
Oh no.
Oh God, no! By the way, Joshua Hunter says the PlayStation Store has Sonic on sale right now for $8.99. So
Nice.
that's one potential avenue for you, PK, if you want to watch it.
I'm down. We're gonna buy it. Also, Sonic 06. Ugh.
Oh God,
Like you said Amy is human, and it don't do that. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
God, please don't do that.
just smile, Elise.
I'm trying to think of
Oh.
like a celebrity voice of a celebrity voice that actually worked for Knuckles. Because Ben Schwartz isn't like
I'm
a
trying-
huge actor,
just-
but he's still up there.
I just want Gilbert Gottfried for Knuckles. I'm just
Oh
put it-
God.
Man,
No,
What about,
wait, can we bring back the old school robots from the old cartoon for Gilbert Godfrey just to voice him?
Oh man.
Name, but you know the
Nice.
green guy with the horn for the drill.
Yeah, I
ball.
know who you're talking
Scratch
about.
and Grounder.
Yes, that's
Oh
what we need.
God.
That's what
I
we need.
apologize for those of you wearing headphones. I'll try to be a little quiet. That's my scratch impression there.
Not bad.
Pretty
Not
good.
bad.
The Saturday morning show is great. I was never a fan of the other one. I think it's Adventures of, but yeah.
It was really good.
112, Jim Carrey, I think, has already been confirmed to return as Eggman, so you don't have to worry
Yes,
about
he
that.
has, which is the most important part.
If he
Yeah,
doesn't gain weight for the job, I don't want it.
I know.
it's true. He needs to
I know,
look like
right?
an egg.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our final news story of the day, and this concerns one of my favorite series that's near dear to my heart, and that is that Silent Hill's creator Keiichiro Toyama is working on a new horror-themed action-adventure game that, quote, that will appease fans of his previous work with his new company, Bokeh Game Studio. Sign me up. I always say I respect Resident Evil. I play some of them. I follow the series from a distance, but Silent Hill, man, is my jam. And I would be happy to play anything this man makes, given that he also created Silent Hill and Siren, by the way. And hell yeah, sign me up. Are you guys, any of you Silent Hill fans?
I've not actually played any of the games. I've been meaning to around the
Those would be
Halloween
good ones
times.
to
I just
stream.
hasn't done it, but I haven't got a chance. But I know they're well loved, and I want to check them out at some point.
The first 3 games, at least. After that, you can kind of stop. But first 3 games.
I hate horror games.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Fair enough.
I am not good with
Fair.
jump. I can't play Five Nights at Freddy's.
Mm.
Like I
Fair.
can't. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like nervous, but being in situations where nerves are naturally on high, I don't do well in those. Like I can't. Every little sound, the jump scares, the unnecessary spooks, the unnecessary settings, the low lighting, the creaking of the floors. There's so much that I'm just like, no. So no, unfortunately, I am not a fan of Silent Hill. But if I need to go to a haunted house, I'm bringing it back.
Nice.
I
Well-
am right there with you. Like,
Frank West taught me that.
You guys may be safe then, because he explained that if anything, this game he's working on will be more of a horror-oriented game, but they will focus on making this a broader entertainment experience rather than a hardcore horror game. So it sounds like it might not be quite as deep into the horror well as something like Silent Hill. So maybe it would be something that could, have enough of a broad appeal to pull in non-horror fans as well. I'm not sure.
Maybe the chat will know this, because I know Shinji Mikami helped create Resident Evil, and then he went on to do Evil Within 1 and 2.
Right.
How were those games? I think I heard
Oh,
Evil Within 2 was better than the first.
so I can talk about Evil Within 2. I wrote IGN's guide for that game. So
Nice.
I've played a lot of Evil Within 2, and it is really good, like stupendously good. And I'm not a big fan, like, I just said, I'm not a big scary game guy. But it leans more into like action and mystery than horror. And dude, I can't recommend it enough. Like, it is one of the few. So I've done like a lot of guides for IGN, and it is typically like the kind of work where they assign you a game and you're like, oh man, I know I'm gonna hate this game by the time I'm done because of the amount I'm about to play it. Like, that is why Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for instance, I have not picked it up since 3 days before it came out, because I played it an exhaustive amount within 2 weeks.
Oh, I don't
And
blame you. Yeah.
but Evil Within 2, like, I remember, even though I was doing like the mundane stuff, like hunting for, good weapons, power-ups, like rare items, that kind of stuff, I still was like, God, this game is like so incredibly well put together. I remember specifically, and without spoilers, the ending sequence, I still cannot puzzle together how they made it work from a technical perspective, because it does just some incredible, like, stuff that I would be surprised to see the PlayStation 5 do, in terms of just like how they moved polygons around the screen at the rate they did on last gen hardware was super impressive to me. So it is a great game, both in terms of it hits on all fronts, mechanical, narrative, and technical. It is an excellent game. And if you're into Shinji Mikami's work, you absolutely have to play it.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a glowing review.
Yeah.
Thanks. I should have reviewed it for IGN.
Right?
Nibelian actually has a bit more. Who reported on this from the IGN article, has some highlights. Apparently they're aiming for a 2023 release date, so don't expect this anytime soon.
Yeah.
They must have just gone into production.
Have a while
But the
to
dev
prepare.
team is described as fairly large, with PC being the lead platform right now. So,
Right.
how that turns
Also, Yen the Reaper in the chat. Two things. First of all, welcome, because I don't recognize your name.
Yeah,
Yen the Reaper,
hi.
so welcome.
Hello.
And you also asked, didn't he work on Gravity Rush? Yeah, he's the creator of Gravity Rush. So
Oh, wow.
even if you're
I
not
don't
into
think I knew
horror, he has a pedigree that is outside of horror. I mean, Gravity Rush is awesome. So
I mean,
Yeah.
Fantastic game.
I have it,
Yeah,
but I
so-
haven't played it.
I haven't
right?
played it, but I
played it on
watched
Vita.
so many playthroughs of it. It's really good.
Nice.
Yeah. But, well, that brings us to the end of our news stories for the day. So, we're kind of wrapping up our show here. But before we sign off, PK, where can our lovely audience find you?
If you guys want to watch the pinnacle of Mario Let's Plays and more, you can find me on YouTube at all right, wait, let me explain. Dat Hotness. I got it from Men in Black 2. Odin busted new hotness. Well, I'm the new hotness, but I called
Nice.
it Dat
Fair.
Hotness. I was 13. Leave me alone.
We all-
If you just search up PK Sparks on YouTube, you should find me on YouTube. You should find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitch. I stream on Twitch weekdays, 8 p.m. I'm getting back to uploading on YouTube fairly soon. I just got to wait for my new computer to come in. And that's going to be exciting. So if you guys like TCG pack openings, Mario and Nintendo games, and good vibes, as you know, if you got, I know you guys do, you're here, then check me out. And I think you guys will have yourself a fun time as well.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, PK,
Oh,
thank you
if I
again,
can-
man, for...
If
Oh,
I can plug
Go
one
ahead.
thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
This weekend on Twitch, I am doing a Diddy Kong Racing live stream playthrough. That's also going to be a charity event to raise money for
Ooh.
adoptaclassroom.org.
Hell
so
yeah.
if you guys
Oh, yeah.
like
Very
it,
cool.
it's December 26th to the 28th. It's Diddy Kong Racing. We're going to have donation incentives. It's my first time doing a charity, but I'm excited for it. So I hope
That's
to see you guys
awesome.
come through. I just want to raise money and try to help teachers teach students, because education is very important.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
hell
That
yes,
is
it is. Well,
awesome.
that's
Sweet. That's yeah.
I'll make sure to
Well,
drop
that is
in,
a-
man. I'm going to watch that. So
Heck
y'all in
yeah.
the chat, please come watch with me. I'll be there.
And good luck against Wizpig, because that is still, to my mind, one of the most frustrating boss battles.
Oh, I gave up.
But it's so good. I'm so excited for that one.
Nice.
I played Diddy Kong with Amy, and I was getting towards got to that later stuff with Diddy Kong. It's like, oh my god, this game is so freaking hard. Why is it so hard if you want to see everything?
It's tough.
I'm
Yeah.
just hoping chat doesn't make me play with Crunch, but that's a donation incentive. So if y'all want me to play with the worst character in the game,
Oh, man.
I mean, I've seen how charities can torture. Some call me Johnny, so you
Yeah.
can probably expect something similar.
I'm excited for it. I got things in plan, so it won't be too bad. But yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, December 26th to the 28th, raising money for adoptaclassroom.org, beginning at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/PKSparks.
Nice.
Sweet. Well, I can't think of any better vibes to end off on than that. So thank you for that. And PK, thank you again for joining us, man. You're welcome back anytime. And we've had a blast having you on the show.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was great to have some conversations about just the gaming nuances of everything. Even with Steve's PS5 just taunting me in the back.
I hear that.
We
It's
have to live
lonely
with
over
it.
here, man. I have no one to play games on this thing with. Like my friends list, I think I know like 4 people that
You
have
don't
one.
play with the PS5, you flex it. It's like a Lambo. You don't drive it.
Well, I mean,
I
Steve,
got it.
if that's a deal breaker for you, man, you can just send it to me. I'll take it off your hands. No worries.
I've had that conversation before. It's
I'll
staying
find some
here.
friends. Don't worry about it. I'll
Yeah.
take that burden off your hand.
Right, exactly. But well, before we wrap up here, as always, we have to give a special thanks to all of our wonderful patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make this show happen. Because without you, it would not be happening. So thank you so much, and of course, as well, a massive thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tiers and above. And those wonderful people include Rob Arman X, Dan Entwistle, Z Patty, Adam O'Sullivan, Floating Mew, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kieran Phillips, Benny Yao, Rosa Bowling, aka Mama Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Geller, Shiny Turkey, Titus Malvolio, Jake Pelka, Michael Phone, Mitchell Herring, Jay Acosta, Game Explain, Charles Saz, Andrew Medeiros, Jonathan Belmare, Kitty Kong Facts, Patrick Harrison, 112, Scott Barber, Evernight Studio, Rocks the Cat, Loyal Dingo, Azran127, Phantom23, Sean Garrett, Shadow the Cat, and Guillaume Monet. So thank you all so much for continuing to support the show. It means the world to us. And remember, you can also become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can watch Today's News Tonight live for as little as $5 a month and interact both with us and our special guests throughout the show, like our live viewers did today. But there are also various tiers you can support us at, including as low as $1 a month. But regardless of whether you support us on Patreon or not, we just appreciate that you're here. We appreciate your love and your support and your good vibes. So as always, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. But until next time, good night, good vibes, and happy holidays, everybody. We'll see you after the holiday break. Good night,
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
Bye.
All right. And the recording.
Can you
is
go ahead and shut
done.
off your recording?
So I try to get us through that as rapidly as possible, PK. Hopefully 5:13 isn't, or 8:13, I guess, for you isn't too bad.
No, this is definitely workable. I can run in the bathroom,
Okay.
eat, and be live within 15 minutes.
Sweet.
Awesome.
At the
Yeah,
bottom of the
we'll just
hour.
need your audio then. But you can just put it in the green room with a drive link or whatever you use for that sort of thing.
I am
Yeah.
trying to find where the heck I even saved these at.
Oh, we came in at under an hour, 57 minutes. Nice.
Yep. It's nice to have a short one after these super long ones we've been having between Roger and
yeah. Been editing
by the way,
feature-length films over here.
yeah.
By the way, PK, do you have a preferred picture that I use for the thumbnail, or can I just Google something?
Actually, I think if you Google something, it'll come up to my ideal image. PK
Okay, cool.
Sparks image. Let's see. Yes, actually, it does. My picture's
Awesome.
been put on wikidtubia.com.
By the
Okay,
way,
I
Ash,
will do that.
Kairudo says, just wanted to say, Ash, to someone in the UK, the view outside your apartment window is so cool. Yeah, you get to see the transition of the day to night with
Thanks.
Ash's view.
Yeah, I love that. I was noticing that while we were talking. That was great.
Thank you. No, that's one of the things that I loved about. We just moved about 3 months ago to this new place, and when we got this corner view on the top floor for a surprisingly decent rate for rent, and especially in LA, I was like, we have to. Like, I've always wanted like a cool cityscape view like this, and where we live like right on one of the major streets in central LA, so it's really cool.
Nice.
So I'm glad you noticed that. I'll try to keep the window open for future recordings.
You
when I'm
almost
out
have that late night vibe going now. You just need like
Yeah,
a
you
desk
do.
right there, maybe get a microphone, a pencil you could tap.
here. That's true. Yeah.
You got to
No,
do
it's
the
great.
one elbow on and the arm leaned out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like I don't know if you can even see it up there, but yeah, and it's a little patio out there too. So I often go out there and do some work, and yeah, it's great out there.
Nice.
Amy in the chat, don't forget the coffee mug too. Yeah, that's true. That's a
Yeah.
late night power move.
Oh man, Pirate Jake says Ash equals Fraser Crane. Oh god,
Wow.
I've never had that. I know I've never had
You
that
could-
comparison.
You
before.
could only hope.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've seen some people say that like the show's title should be yesterday's news this morning. I'm like, no, it's today's news tonight for our patrons. That's what it matters.
Right.
Oh, you gotta use the alliteration. Today's news tonight sound it hits the ear wonderfully.
Exactly. Alliteration makes everything better.
It
Another
does.
name I don't recognize in the chat, QBino Yoko Gaming, says Hard Night Show with Ash Paulson. That sounds like a show idea, you guys.
Sounds like an OnlyFans show idea.
Oh my
It
god.
does. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh man. 112 says, "Oh Ash, did you see that Mega Man Legends' art book is getting a fan translation?" I did, in fact, see that. So that is
That's awesome.
very exciting. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, Mark
Yeah.
Cole, good question. Asks, did you guys not do the Smash stream yesterday? So, no, we did
Yeah.
not. For various reasons, we decided to postpone it to next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and we will make a post about it on the Patreon page. So, definitely mark that down, though.
yeah. It just gives everybody a lot more opportunity to be available, but especially because this week's the holidays and you know how schedules can be.
Yeah, I mean, it was already going to be a rough day to do it. I had some personal stuff going on that day too, so I think it's better we just moved it out, and that way you guys have a little bit more lead time, and frankly, like Ash, Derek, and I have time to breathe around it. You know, because I think
Yeah.
we've all been really busy. At the time that was going to happen, I was still knee deep both capturing footage for and editing the Cyberpunk review, which thankfully is off my plate.
I'm sorry you had to play that game.
Say what?
I'm sorry you had to play that game.
Man, you know what? I would love to like actually like go deep into my more colloquial, non-critical experiences playing that game, but it wasn't that bad. Like playing it, but I played it on a PS5 running the PS4 version, so naturally like it powered through a lot of the problems. But I mean, that's not saying there weren't problems. There were a lot. But not, I didn't have the whole like people T-posing in midair or cars randomly exploding, like the crazier stuff that I saw.
Just launch out of a building.
Yeah, see, I didn't see any of that. Like I had your more typical stuff that you'd probably expect from a buggy game, like just the game dumping out to the, like crashing completely. I had issues where people would sit on things that weren't there. Or one of the more common ones was like someone would sit down, then stand up, then sit down, then stand up, like the whole time they're talking for like 5 minutes during a cutscene. I did have a really disturbing one. There's a character, Panam, who is like a love interest in the game. And one of the things that, like, if you're a straight male in the game, you only have one romance option. That's it. And the same goes, I mean, to be fair, the same goes for every other, like if you're a straight female, if you're gay or whatever, if you're interested in a same-sex partner, you only have one option for each of those choices. And so Panam is the one you have to go with if you're a straight male. And for some reason we had a mission where it's like, we hooked up in the car, like my V had sex with her. And then they were literally fused into one person for the remainder of the cutscene. Like,
oh god,
they were just like it was
their own child. That's crazy.
It was some shit from The Fly. Like, when like Marty teleports and there's the fly in there. It was really unsettling, and it jumped right into a mission.
Like yeah. I watched a compilation of some Cyberpunk bugs, and it is a blast to watch. Quite the riot.
Yeah, I have one linked to me not too long ago, and that's also where I saw the body jump out, and I'm like, is that a feature or is that what happened? Like, that's how things are in this game. What's going on? It's pretty crazy. Yeah. I would love to talk more, but I definitely got
please.
No, please go. Please.
Do what you got to do.
I got everything for y'all in the chat.
Perfect.
So
great.
The link and the
Thank you very much.
Let me know when it's done so I can clear it from my drive, but no rush or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
The episode should go live. It usually goes live at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow.
Cool. All right. Let me make sure you let me know when it's live so I can do my own shout out of it. But again, thank y'all for having me. It was a lot of fun talking with you guys, and I hope to talk with you guys again soon.
Hell yeah, man!
Thank you, man.
You take care, man.
Take care.
I'll be here. Talk to you.
Bye.
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 Such a good chat. It's such a good dude.
Yeah.
Really nice. Enjoy hanging out with him. So yeah, we got Steve's Cyberpunk review up today. We should have my Hyrule Warriors. I'm just gonna be able to finish that up right after this stream. Have that go up tomorrow. I saw Kairudo ask about the state of Melody of Memory, Ash.
Right. So that kind of got backburnered because I had to finish Age of Calamity for the discussion we're still going to have. And then I've also been working on as Steve knows, been trying to sort out City of Heroes and kind of get that going in terms of that's the requested review by one of our patrons. I've just had a lot of difficulty even getting it running on my machine because I'm a Mac user and it doesn't run natively on Mac. So that unfortunately Melody of Memory kind of had to take a back seat. However, I have finished it now. And I really just need to grab a little more footage of the I can't remember the performer mode because I didn't play much performer mode, so just got to do that, and then I can still write the review and push it out there. But yeah, it is still coming. It's just unfortunately kind of got backburnered a little bit due to other priorities. But I am done with Age of Calamity now, so we're ready to talk about that. And,
so all three of us have now finished Age of Calamity, so that should be an interesting discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Someone else asked about. Oh, sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
I was just saying that'll be a lot of fun, like to talk about Age of Calamity finally. Like let the dam burst on that one because I am ready to go.
Someone also asked on Monday, I think, about Collection of Saga, and we never mentioned it. We just never really mentioned it during the show because I think we forgot. We were actually going to have Kaylin review that, but we actually ended up not getting a review code at all for whatever reason. Just didn't get one from Square this time. So fortunately, that's one of the smaller games we could have not gotten from them. So it's not a huge loss.
See, it seemed like even Square, like I kind of forgot it was coming out because Square just did not advertise
Yeah.
it.
They didn't advertise it much. So
it's just like, okay, it's out.
Yeah.
And that's typically how they treat Saga. So
to answer Mark Cole, yeah, I got my Switch 2020 totals. And they kind of track with what I expected.
Oh, I got mine too. Yeah.
I need to look at that.
So Nintendo emailed out. I will just share with you guys what mine says. It's not like it's bad. It's not like they're like, hey, you're a terrible person.
Because I cleared out emails today and I just like whatever I did was like, I don't care about this.
So you can tell what my Switch was used for this year. So Nintendo says I'm a core gamer, which surprise that, been playing since 1988. So, my most played games by hours, surprising no one, are Animal Crossing, Hyrule Warriors, and here comes the dark horse, Clubhouse Worldwide 51 or 51 Worldwide Classics. I did play that with the Treehouse and reviewed it. So, literally every game on my list is one I played for work.
How do you need a link to do that, or how do you do that?
I just got it in my email. Like it just showed up.
Yeah, I got an email about it.
I didn't. I think I accidentally deleted it. Let's see if I can find it.
I do love my 2019 list. Let me see if I can get that. Sorry, guys. Focal distance is a real thing.
Here it is.
Three Houses, Mario Maker 2, and Pokemon Sword for last year. And this year, I only logged 317 hours and played 80 games compared to 2019, where I played 515 games across, or 515 hours, across 123 games. So
I've also reached Core Gamer. I'm only just seeing this. Total hours played is 606, but that's still lower than 2019, which was 770. So that's baby in pregnancy for you. 55 games compared to 60 games last year, and my most played games by hours is Age of Calamity, Xenoblade Chronicles, Smash Ultimate, which I think is because of Amy's whole thing, Fire Emblem Three Houses somehow, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 somehow. I don't quite get Xenoblade Chronicles. Oh, because I played Torna. That's how I got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I did the stream.
Nice.
Let's see. I got. I'm a core gamer as well, I guess. Yeah, I'm a core, which makes sense. My most played games by hours are Smash Ultimate, of course, Xenoblade Definitive Edition, Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection, because I played it for like 100 hours for the review for GX, Dragon Quest 11S, and Mario 35.
Nice. My wife got one that you get if you only play Animal Crossing for the whole year. And it was
really?
something like Island Escapist or something like that, like Island Getaway Enthusiast or something really cool like that. But the only game she's played on Switch all year was Animal Crossing. So I thought it was really cool that they had something ready for that. And then, of course, her email was filled with, you should try these other games.
Right. For some reason, my most active day this year was Wednesday, May 13th, which seems so random. I don't even know what I was doing on Wednesday, May 13th. Last year, it was Sunday, December 15th, which makes a little more sense, I guess, because it was a Sunday. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I would have been doing on May 13th. Maybe I was sick or something.
Let's see. What was my most active day? Mine was March 23rd. And
let me look.
What? Was that Animal Crossing launch day?
Left. My most active day was Wednesday, October 9th. What was October 9th? What came out
I don't even know.
Man, we were right on the cusp of GVG then, so.
Yeah.
It's funny. My total hours played for the year was 952, but I can guarantee you that like 75% of that or 80% is probably just YouTube, because I leave YouTube on for music all the time. So like I have, it says in my list on my Switch that I've played like 2,000 hours of YouTube or something lifetime. So I just have it on, just playing in the background all the time. And that's probably where the majority of that came from.
So, the funny thing is I'm looking at these numbers and I'm remembering now that there's easily at least 150 hours docked off this, because I played all of Animal Crossing on Andre's profile because he redeemed the code for the review copy. And then I reviewed it. So the whole time I was playing, I played about 110 hours before the review came out. And then I guess somehow on my own profile, I still managed to knock out 82 hours in March.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really tired. I think because the way it worked out was I ended up getting a copy of New Horizons, like for myself, that I could own after the review was out. But that meant that I had to then move all my stuff off of Andre's review copy that he let me borrow. So I spent like just untold hours rebuilding my island back to what it was from the review copy. Yeah, it sucked really bad. But at the same time, I was a little happy because then like one of the loneliest things that I think people don't consider when you review games, because everyone's like, oh, it's so cool, you get games for free, right? But then by the time the game you've worked on comes out, like you're done with it and all your friends are just getting started. And so you don't have like any sense of camaraderie with them because you're like, yeah, I already beat it. Like you're like, I'm already tired of it. And so it did feel nice in a sense to like have an empty Critterpedia and all that, because then my friends couldn't be like, oh, I just caught this, and I'd be like, yeah, I caught it a month ago, like so that was nice. But yeah, I do I mean, at the same time, I think one of the most annoying things to have to do is like play a game, beat it, then start it over again.
Yeah,
right.
I can definitely see that.
What's funny is likewise my total hours don't include either Age of Calamity, because I played that on Derek's account, or I think they don't include Origami King, because I actually made a new save file because I was helping Andre with footage prior to release, and when I actually got it myself, I wanted to start the game over, so I used an alternate profile to play, and I played like 85% of the game now, I think. So
yep, that
my hours
count.
do not include. Yeah. So
Mark Cole in the chat, you're correct. Andre and I both restarted. He wanted to stream like a daily vlog from within Animal Crossing, which he did for a while. I want to say like 3 months or maybe even longer. And that was like his daily thing. And so he restarted too because we had discussed it. And I kind of told him like it would kind of suck to hop in to daily vlogs from someone who's been playing the game for 99 straight days already or whatever. Like you don't want to see an island that's 3 months old and then try to keep up with it.
Because there's less to talk about then.
Yeah, exactly. Like what are you going to talk about? You've already built all your buildings, you've upgraded your house. Like there's, starting from day one makes a lot more sense. So Andre did that. I think it was the right move for him. I did it just because I didn't really have a choice. I was, it was either that or play on Andre's profile forever, which definitely wasn't going to happen. So
yeah,
I am. I will say though, I am now that Hyrule Warriors is done. It should be a lot of fun to finally be able to start working on my actual series. Like I've been waiting to do this freaking thing for so long, and I actually wrote up the first page of it in prep.
Yeah,
I have to actually.
I have like 70% of a feature written that I really want to finish. And it's not going to be timely anymore. So I'm trying to make it like bigger. So it's kind of more of an evergreen thing that people can just watch and enjoy. It's like a history lesson. I think it'll be fun. But God, does it take a lot of work. And when you're trying to review a game and do TNT and all this other stuff, it's like, forget it. Right. You know what, Aurum, since you guys are our patrons and because it's not like it's a time sensitive thing, I'm more than glad to just tell you what I'm working on. So I have had in the works for the last month or so, longer than that, I guess at this point, a very deep, in-depth history of the Game & Watch and its contributions to gaming as a whole. Think of, I'm thinking of something more along the lines of like an Xbox Ahoy style documentary, as opposed to just like a one-off, it's a one-off thing, but it's really, really in depth. It talks about, it doesn't just talk about Gunpei Yokoi. It talks about the origins of R&D1. It talks about the dude at Casio who met with, or at Sharp, sorry, who met with Hiroshi Yamauchi, the chip they supplied him. I mean, like it goes deep. It goes real deep. I unearthed some really, really old interviews from Gunpei Yokoi from before he passed away. I've gone real deep down the rabbit hole with some old Iwata Asks stuff, pulled up some Game & Watch prototype drawings. Like there is a lot of information in this video. And beyond that, like the visual stuff, I'm also, I'm also creating like completely custom graphics and animations for this video because I really, really want it to be something special. So look forward to it. I have no date on when it will be available. But, and as far as a favorite Game & Watch model, I don't know. So I at one point happened across a completely sealed case of Donkey Kong Game & Watch units.
Oh, wow.
And I sold them for a king's ransom. Like I was at a mom and pop game shop and she sold me the entire case brand new factory sealed for $140.
Holy shit.
I sold it for a lot more than that. Yeah.
I will always have a affinity for, I think it's either either called boat or parachute. It's the one where the guys are constantly jumping off the cliff and having parachutes. You got to catch them in the boat, the rowboat, going back and forth. That's the one I actually owned as a kid.
Nice.
Would play in the car.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was a Tiger handheld kid because that was just the stuff my mom
Same.
bought. Yeah. Oh, my mom
looking at that and being like, "This is just crappy Game & Watches. What the hell?"
My mom went to the store and she was always the one that was like price over quality, you know? So she's like, "Oh man, I remember this because I remember being a kid and it was this time of year. It was almost Christmas time and my mom had no clue what to get us, and me and my brother, being kids in the late 80s or early 90s, were like, Game Boys. We want Game Boys. You know, like that's what we want for Christmas. And she takes us to the store and she goes, I can get you guys one Game Boy to share or two Atari Lynxes. And I was like, we should get the Game Boy, Mom. We should definitely get the Game Boy. She's like, two Atari Lynxes? Got it. And those things broke in, no joke, like 2 days. I was heartbroken.
Man.
But it was... as far as Game & Watches, I never owned one as a kid, but growing up as an adult, like it became a thing that I was really fascinated with. I was like, oh man, I really miss this. And I miss the train on these, and they're so expensive now. And to be fair, to this day, the only one I own is the Mario 35 one. Like, and that's just because Nintendo sent us one.
I think mine broke and I just,
Yeah. Like I
had the Club Nintendo one.
I should say I had a
the Club
Game &
Nintendo
Watch
production.
watch.
I think it was like Game & Watch Ball.
Yes.
The Club Nintendo one they did a few years ago.
I
That's
tried
the one
to get that one. I was deep into the Club Nintendo thing for a while, but somehow I missed the boat on getting Ball, and that really pisses me off because it was one of the best rewards.
Dropped the ball. Way to go, Steve.
Yeah, I dropped the ball on Ball, but my friend Jason in the chat, XQ Jonah, says you guys are the only people I ever knew that had the Lynx. Yeah, we were the only people we knew that had it too.
Nice.
But it was I would say the ones that I most like am fascinated by are the dual screen ones, the ones that basically resemble a DS. I'm like, that's so cool. Like Nintendo bringing back these old ideas. Sorry, Ash, I cut you off.
One of the dual screen ones.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that in terms of future plans, I hope to sync up with John over the holidays at some point and kind of get What's That Track going again as well.
Yes,
that's still also on the docket. So.
And my plans, I've hinted at it. I might as well just go ahead and say it since you guys are all patrons and hype it up. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I had this idea very early last in the year, and there's a show idea I came up with called RP Gems, where I look at lesser known RPGs, less talked about RPGs. It's not your Final Fantasies, your Mass Effects, your Dragon Ages, the ones that everybody's heard of and played. It's the lesser known ones and seeing if they hold up or not. Is this a hidden gem or not? And I decided to start with, because it's you're working with a niche genre here, so I wanted to see, have something a little bit more people are familiar with. So this first episode is going to be on Golden Sun and seeing if that holds up. And naturally, with the way Golden Sun works, the second episode will be on Golden Sun, the Lost Stage, because it's basically one big game.
Yeah.
And I already have my third game decided as well, which I'll keep that under my hat. And then I'll be taking, basically, as those are coming out, I'm going to be taking suggestions like, what games do you think should be highlighted to take a look at to see if it holds up? Because there's a ton of RPGs out there I'd love to play, and to have an excuse to play them, I will be so happy. Fizzy, it is not Lunar, although that is on this the list. I might as well just say it. It's Skies of Arcadia Legends.
Nice.
That'll be my third.
Dude, that'll be so cool because I've
what a great game.
always wanted to check that game out. I never have. It passed me by, so I'll be watching as you're playing.
It's one of those games that really does live up to the hype, Steve. I mean, some of it has not aged well in terms of like the high encounter rate, but that's a problem with most JRPGs. But what a special singular game settings wise, and it's got some goofy voice acting too. It's great. It's a great game.
I'm so interested to return to Golden Sun because I remember enjoying it, but I also remember needing a freaking guide in order to get past it because the puzzles were just so. I think it's 2001, so I think I was like 16, and I was still having trouble. Like, how the hell do you do these? Figure it out.
I want to recommend Sonic Chronicles for you, Derek. So just so I can hear you talk about the music.
No.
Did you play it back in the day or no?
Yes, I played.
Oh, okay, so you know how bad it is then.
I know. I don't trust me. I'm looking for gems here. I know trash.
That's true. That's a good point. That isn't a gem at all. That's a. Or if it is a gem, it's a very faded, dirty, scuffed, broken one.
You guys want a Kai cameo?
Hell, of course.
Always.
For the chat. He's actually he's been in
a cameo.
A cameo.
Wow.
All right, bring him on. There he is.
Oh,
he's looking.
Look at him.
He's been looking happy.
Oh, he's so cute. He looks sleepy too.
That's good. I hope he sleeps.
Yeah, right.
Heck yeah, go to sleep, little one. Let Daddy play some games.
Yeah.
And Valkyrie profile would be definitely up there. It's that's probably an expensive one to find. We might need to have like a fund on the Patreon to like get me these games because
yeah,
old RPGs expensive.
You should do the Soul Blazer trilogy, Derek. Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terranigma.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Like that's
Illusion of Gaia. I still want to stream. I love that game so much.
Many RPGs to pull from. That makes it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh man, Kai is staring straight into the camera. Ollie Waleed says it's true. It's a little bit unnerving. Yeah.
A little bit unnerving.
Well, because I feel like he's staring into my soul. He's like staring into. He knows everything I've done. He knows all the sins I've committed.
The most innocent human on this show is judging you.
Yeah.
Kai judging him because he's looking right into the camera.
he's just ready. Like
I actually, you guys know my Iggy plush, that Iggy Koopa plush.
Yeah.
He was kind of staring at it as I was holding him in the office the other day, and he's just sort of looking up at it. So I decided to just grab it off the shelf and put it in front of him, and he actually, honest to God, smiled. So I'm like, "Hey, we might have a Mario fan." Ain't that right?
Nice.
You like Iggy? Do you like Iggy? Crazy eyes.
I mean, who couldn't love Iggy? Look at that face.
He is so adorable, you guys.
What's Kai's first review?
Derek, the review.
What's the best diaper for you?
Wow.
Pirate Jake asks. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say I don't know that I want a performance-based review of a diaper.
Yeah, I think I might be good on that. Pirate Jake asks, Ash, wanted to ask you because I think you're the biggest fan of these games here. Thoughts on Trials of Mana 2020 versus the version on Collection of Mana? Well, actually, it just so happens I reviewed Trials of Mana Remake for Game Explain, so you can find that on YouTube if you want my in-depth thoughts. But in general, I think it's a great remake. They essentially took what was a 2D game and rebuilt the whole thing in 3D. So the presentationally is completely different and modernized, but yet they really hewed very closely to the design of the original game in terms of the way the world is structured. And it's got a really, really nice, clean, hyper colorful look to it. The remix soundtrack is actually good this time, as opposed to Secret of Mana, which was awful. It's a great remake. I recommend it. It's good times.
The funny thing is I have the Secret of Mana remake, but I don't have the Trials of Mana remake.
Yeah, Secret of Mana remake was not great. It wasn't horrible.
It was one of those things like, I have this habit sometimes where I feel like if a game's going to be not readily available later on, I pick it up. Because I run into that where I'm like, I'll wait on this one. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, God, I can't find it.
That's really not a bad habit to have, honestly. Because if you know you're going to go back and play it, even if it's years later, you've probably saved yourself $80, $100. Like, it really depends.
tricky thing. It's always on niche games too, because you like, I can wait on Last of Us Part 2 and get it for $10, $15.
Right. It's probably $10 now.
Something like an RPG.
I still need to finish that.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through, I think.
Oh goodness. That would be a fun discussion to have with you guys once you're both once you've played through it and finished it. But
I think that's a fun thing to do with some of these later games coming out. So all three of us can manage to do one of those discussions.
yep.
Yeah. At least we got Age of Calamity coming now. I'm so excited to discuss that story with you guys. I have thoughts.
Yes.
Thoughts with a capital T. I'm excited.
Same.
I actually have an idea for when we come back for TNT. Because who knows what the news will be like. There might be still news, but we also have like Game of the Year stuff that's coming up, and we haven't really decided on a format. And I was almost wondering, and I'll say it here for the chat just because get their thoughts as well. Just to make us a little different, what do you guys think about going through a calendar of the releases and just talking about some of the major ones, and then like once we get to the end, like that way people have an idea of what games we've played. It's like, oh, how could you not put this game on your list? Well, I haven't played it. That way we sort of have like a going through and sort of a year in review / game of the year type.
I think that's a great idea for a multi-part episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say that could go very long. That's my only concern.
Like take it over multiple, like next week, just multiple TNTs, have that be the focus.
That's true. I mean, if there's no news, we could do that.
We could also, I mean, I hate to offer this.
Okay.
You know what? I'll take it offline. I don't want to.
Fair enough.
I have an idea, but I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to speak it into existence in case it's a really bad idea.
That's
fair enough. Charlie Bird says they want to have me talk about my favorite gaming music track of the year. That's a good one. I'll have to think about that.
What if we did? Hold on, I got an idea. That is not an idea that would create days upon days of work for us. But what if we internally huddle and come up with the GVG Game Awards 2020 and just decide on like a group of categories, and then internally debate amongst ourselves like what we would put forward as our winners for these categories. Kibi no Yoko, I think we all killed ourselves doing those PowerPoints.
Oh, I never want to do
never
again.
Never.
I will gladly bring that same energy to a discussion though. If you want to see what this face looks like when I'm defending Fat Sonic, I will do it gladly for you. But I don't know that I'm going to build a PowerPoint every day for like 11 days straight.
No.
I was often building those while I was listening to other people argue their points. So it's
oh God.
We might be like running a little late on these type of ideas, but that was something we build off.
Yeah, you know what? Let's okay, so for this year we'll find a way to talk it out even if it's just across a couple TNT episodes. But I mean, we'll be here in another year too. We'll start planning this. You know, we won't launch a whole new channel next October. Or next month.
You know, I think next week is probably going to be a lighter week in general. So we could certainly maybe record a 2-part bespoke game of the year discussion between on Tuesdays and Thursdays on our non-TNT days, possibly, depending on what your schedules are like. I think I could probably make that work.
Yeah. Let's talk about it after the episode because I have become a pumpkin. Go. Yep.
Yes,
I can smell my dinner. I'm starving. So
yeah. All right,
y'all. Pirate Warriors. So
yep,
you guys. I always had a lot of fun. You guys have a happy holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And, I may or may not be here on Monday just because Amy and I are going up to my parents for the weekend, and we're coming back on Monday. So I'm not quite sure exactly what time we're getting back.
Okay. Well, I mean, if not, Steve and I will hold down the fort and maybe grab a guest, but hopefully you'll be here.
Yeah, and real quick for our patrons, since y'all are already members of our exclusive Discord community, if you would like a present from Santa/me in Animal Crossing, drop me a dodo code in the matchmaking channel. I will come visit you at some point this evening and drop off gifts for you.
Nice.
I am recording those and putting them all into a video that will go live on the channel, and if you're okay with it, I will include like your Switch friend code or whatever you would like for me to put down there, so you guys get credited for the lovely islands you've all made.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all I got.
By the way, as a quick reminder, next Tuesday at 4 p.m., we're going to make a post on the Patreon about it as well, of course. But next Tuesday, 4 p.m., block it out in your schedule if you can. That's when we're streaming Smash Ultimate with our EPs and above. So, and the stream itself is open to everybody, but we'll be playing with our EPs and above. So definitely try to make that if you can.
Also, no promises, but I'm going to try to attempt to get a Grandma Plays.
Nice. I cannot wait for that.
But we're going to try.
So, awesome.
Nice. All right, cool. Well then, everybody, we'll communicate with y'all in some way or another, but in terms of official videos, we'll see you after Christmas. We hope you all have a lovely holiday, and thank you so much for hanging out for this last pre-Christmas episode.
Indeed.
All right.
Good night, holidays, everybody. Bye.